All right, short and sweet. We're ready to roll. Excited to get back on the grass, man. This is never gets old. This is, like I said a week or so ago, everything builds to this, and this is what we love to do. To be able to get back into the meetings, get back onto the field, and just start putting it together and getting ready to go compete against some other people. So. It's a lot of fun. We've had a good couple of weeks as far as staff-wise getting ready with our meetings and prep, and then last couple of days with the players, trying to get them, acclimated from a program standpoint as well. And now we can get out there and get on with it, and get to work on the football side of it. So ready to roll.
David Hood with TigerNet.com. We're talking about the heat. I can't remember a start fall camp this hot in a long time. So as a coach, you like that, right? You love to get these guys out there and sweat them up.
As I tell you all the time, mo hotter, mo better. I love it. Ran about 4 miles today at lunch. I love the heat. They practice in it, they train in it all summer long, so it's nothing new to those guys. I mean, this is what they do. So got a good plan as far as our acclimatization and how we ramp up at practice, and it's a little different this year because you got to prepare for a longer season. You could play as much as 17 games. You could play all the way to late January. Tweaked a couple things as far as how we go about our camp and just our plan as far as making sure we got our rest days built in and recovery opportunity and all that type of stuff. But they've been training in the heat all summer, and so just be another day for them.
Brian Wesco weighing at 182 yesterday. I mean, do you feel pretty good about him physically where he is going into the season, to be able to contribute and play regularly?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I felt good about him in the spring at 170. He showed up and really caught on quickly and really competed all spring, and he demonstrated that he could mentally do what he needed to do and physically do what he needed to do this spring. But it's about just becoming the best version of himself since he's been here. So him getting stronger, bigger, will help him just compete better and help him. It'll accentuate, what he already does well. It'll accentuate those things. So, proud of him and all the guys and how they, how they've worked hard. The team's done a great job. We're big, we're strong, and we've got a lot of guys that really bought into what they needed to do from a nutrition standpoint and a strength conditioning standpoint. So good summer from that aspect. Now we got to get to work on the field.
I know that you get kind of daily or weekly reports on them, but did anybody surprise you in a good way where they went in, or a bad way too?
No, we in tune everything going on all throughout the summer. So it's not like it used to be where you never see them or things like that. I mean, these guys they've done what they need to do. So I expected them all to, based on what we did in the spring, and all the exit meetings, and to buy into what we asked of them, and they did. And then you kind of are engaged all summer long on where they are. So there was really nobody that really shocked me, nobody that I was disappointed in or anything like that. I mean, I was very encouraged by all these guys on where they are, and especially with their body composition.
I think Peter Woods told us during the spring he was shooting for 295. What is 319? Can you give us your assessment of that?
Yeah, as I said, it's about the composition. He's really lean. He's a freaky dude. He's a very lean guy. He's leaner than guys that weigh 280 in some cases. So just a unique human being. That's the best way I can describe it. He can run for days. He's in great shape. He's going to play a lot of snaps. And he's going to play multiple positions. He's going to play probably every position across the front. But obviously when you're playing out and in, there's a little bit more space involved and things like that. But I mean, he crushed every number. I mean, he's just a big, strong kid. He looks at a weight and he gets strong. I mean, so he's in a good place with his body composition.
You mentioned 2 weeks ago about injuries. You guys are entering the preseason kind of more healthy compared to last season. Is that still the same entering today?
Yeah, y'all will see that. This is probably, the best we've been in a long time going out to day one. And we're ready to roll. I think, Miles Oliver, who's been out, he tore his ACL last year. He's at one, but I think we got maybe 2 guys in green, maybe, that are just kind of little ticky-tack things that they're kind of pushing through from coming out of training. But we're in a good spot right now.
Dabo, with being able to have so many different additional coaches on the field, the special teams, does that change anything procedurally when you've got like a Ryan Allen who can kind of come in, work with the punters? Just didn't know if you divide things up differently or if it means anything different for the kickers who normally don't have dedicated coaches to them.
Yeah, it changes everything. We got a 1-to-1 ratio. There's going to be a lot of scrutiny. It's going to be, we haven't added staff. We have the same amount of staff that we've always had, but they just have never been able to coach on the field, within the rules. And so they haven't been able to do that. Haven't been able to run meetings, that type of stuff. So been able to do everything else. They can recruit. They obviously help support the coaches and game plan and all that stuff, but they were limited as far as practice. So what it'll do is and again, it will make you more efficient, and it'll create hopefully a lot of scrutiny and just a little more attention to details across the board, because everybody can coach, everybody's got a voice, and that's why I hired Ryan, and because now, I can have a true specialist coach that can coach on the field and kind of manage that group from a specialist, and then Will Gilchrist will be our director of special teams, and he'll orchestrate everything. So it's really, really good. I'm excited, and then all the coaches, they're all involved. Everybody, we got all these support guys that have been chomping at the bit to get out on the field, and now they get the opportunity to do it. So, in the past, you had just your 10 coaches, myself, and the 4 GAs, and you had to have GAs because they could only coach if they were a GA. So we don't even need we converted all the GAs. We don't need a GA. All of our GAs already got master's degrees. We need them coaching. We need them. You had to do that in the past, but now that everybody can, we just converted all those, and everybody's on the field and everybody's doing what they need to do. So I'm excited about just the amount of, like I said, attention that we'll be able to put on every single player. Should be a lot of fun.
Dabo, obviously fall camp is full of competition and position battles, but how do you build continuity when you have those position battles happening?
That's just part. That doesn't start now. That continuity and chemistry and your leadership and your team development and all that stuff, that's been going since January. We've started that in January. So if you're trying to get that now on first day of practice, you're behind the 8 ball. We've got a close team, and this team is, literally, truly, they're very close. I think they really love each other. That's been very apparent to me. I've had a lot of fun in the meetings with them the last couple of days, and just, their energy, their vibe, their things they've articulated, and just, you can tell that there's very good leadership, but they're close, and that's important. So again, you don't do that on August 1st. You're way behind it. You just continue that journey. And so they all know each other well. They all know the depth chart, where we are right now. They all are going to get a chance to compete. But that's also a big part of as you go through camp, because we've got about, the next, 20 days of just football, no school, just football, all camp. So kind of solidifying that team component, that togetherness, the chemistry, that's, I think, already in a really good spot. That's just a part that's woven into what we do. It's our meetings, it's our speakers, it's our things that we do internally, to make sure everybody really appreciates each other, knows each other, and so forth.
Are you tired of scrolling endlessly to find the perfect deal?
Who said that?
Me.
Ah! Who are you? How did you get in my house?
Be not afraid. I'm the Frugal Fairy. See, at the Frugaling Shop, we bring the best deals to your doorstep, so you can spend less time searching and more time saving.
Yes, hello? There's a man with wings standing in my living room, and I'm scared.
Have you ever stumbled upon a flavor sensation that sweeps you off your feet? That's Waffle Drop. Nestled in the heart of Greenville, we've spun up the traditional bubble waffle, a thrilling mix of pancake and waffle, into an art form. From the whimsical Lille Blue Panda to the decadent Ferrero Rocher ice cream, every bite is an adventure. Imagine savoring a bubble waffle wrapped around your favorite ice cream. Now stop imagining. Visit us at Hampton Station and embark on your own delightful journey. Buy now and feel the happiness we blend into every serving. Experience the joy today at Waffle Drop. Home isn't just a place, it's a feeling. That's what Harbor Oasis became for me, a slice of home in Anderson, South Carolina. I stumbled upon this heartwarming marketplace. Roaming through aisles of handcrafted treasures and local art, I felt each piece whispering stories of passion and dedication. It's a place where warmth meets creativity. Join me in experiencing this magical oasis. Explore the beauty, attend soul-enriching workshops, and support local artisans. See for yourself how Harbor Oasis can become a part of your story too. Experience the joy today at Harbor Oasis, located at 5013 SC 24 in Anderson.
I guess Sammy Brown, I think you said he focused on one position, linebacker, mostly in the spring. Do you anticipate him doing more cross-training or kind of just sitting at that one spot?
No, I think he'll learn both as he goes. I think we just wanted to get him to a good spot, good start, but I think we'll see where he is the first week. Obviously, we haven't been on the field with him since spring, so we'll see where he is. But he's a guy that's he'll have to master the Mike and Will throughout his career. So that process has already started and will continue.
We're going to see out of TJ Moore, his first kind of formal practice.
Just where he's at. I mean, I have no clue. So literally first meeting I've been in with him. He's obviously a super talented young prospect, but I don't have any assumptions. My only assumptions I have is I can't wait to get out there and just watch his natural ball skills. He's a great ball skill guy. He's a finisher on the ball, and those are things that I expect to see. But all the rest of it, I gotta get out there. It's gonna be fast. So we'll see where he's at. I don't really know till we get out there, but I'm excited he's finally here. That's for sure.
I think you said going into last year, ideally at receiver, your freshmen are backups and they're able to play. They're able to sort of progress naturally. But you haven't had that luxury because of all the injuries in recent years. Is that still the ideal that your veteran guys or the frontline guys?
I mean, I think I think that's what you want at every position. If all the freshmen are coming in and beating out all the juniors and seniors every year, you probably ain't very good. I mean, Sammy Brown's a good player, but if he beats out Barrett Carter, that's probably not very good. I mean, Barrett's a fourth-year player. You're going to be a pro next year. So, you hope you got great players. And we like our players. We like our guys. I mean, we love our – y'all know me. I've started a lot of freshmen over the years. Best player is going to play. I mean, we've started freshmen at every position on this team. Offensive line, quarterback, receiver, kicker, linebacker, DB. I mean, there's not a position I haven't started a freshman, but we really are excited about the veteran guys we have on this team. And so if a freshman runs out there first, he's going to be pretty special. And we can all be excited about that because we got a really good group of veterans, especially at receiver. It's the first time, man, we got 10 dudes. We got 10 guys. And we got 6 guys coming out of spring that are really day one competing to start. And 5 of them have started. When's the last time we had that? We got 5 guys that have started for us. And so we're really, and Tyler and Antonio and Cole and Adam and Stellato. Those 5 guys have started. And Wesco came out of the spring right there in that group. So it's a really good group. And man, Ronan, Noble, Tink, what a summer he's had. And now you got TJ coming in here. We got a deep room of reserves as well. So it's going to be a lot of competition. It's going to be fun. But again, I'm excited about that. I think we've got that at every position except tailback. I don't think anybody's competing to start over Maffa. I think Maffa is, and I'm excited about, okay, who's the next guy? There's going to be a lot of competition right there. You know, I don't see anybody competing with Barrett and Woodass. Like, them dudes are, they're ready. All right? Behind them, it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. So, and I think we'll have that type of competition at a lot of positions. We've got some competition at center. You know, we got 7 guys that have started and won games in the offensive line, won big games. And then you got Linthicum coming in here, and you got Dietrich, and we got some young guys that we feel good about depth-wise. So, but we got legit 8 veteran guys that, and I'm cautiously excited about Dietrich because he's had his best summer. And so that's 9 veterans that hopefully will lead the way for us up front. So I think competition's going to be great. But at the end of the day, whoever we run out there, that's going to be based on what we saw day in and day out at practice, day in and day out at meetings, and who we think gives us the best chance to win, regardless of if it's a walk-on or a freshman or a 5th-year senior or whoever that may be.
Barrett Carter at the ACC kickoff. I asked him, who we would probably be a little bit surprised by on the defensive line, and he said Jaheim, and then Jaheim weighs in at 252. Considering Peter, will play some defensive end, it's going to play in the inside. Are you excited about what that next group that you have coming with AJ and Jaheim and seeing where they progress?
Yeah, and Coach Rumpf is as well. And that's why we didn't go take another guy because, Chris really likes his room. And these guys have all accepted the challenge on what they needed. Jaheim showed up here about maybe 210, 215. And he's a natural pass rusher. He's got a great motor. He's not quite as long as you'd like, but he makes up for it in some Grady Jarrett ways. If that's a good, Grady was not as big, not as long, but he had a motor. Jaheim's got a motor. And now he's got his body in a spot at 251 pounds that he can really compete. He can physically, prior to this year, his first red shirt, he's we saw him as a pass rush guy. But now he's put himself in a position where he can compete, on every down. And Hoffler's a really, really great young talent, got his nose bloodied last year, got a little bit of experience. He's a good-looking kid, man. I think got a chance to be a complete player. We're getting Armand Mason back. Nobody even knows who he is on this team, but he was out. We were excited about him going into last year. He got hurt in camp, was out all year. So he's another speed, natural pass rusher, athlete. Cade Denhoff, man, he's had his best summer. Obviously, TJ came in a great spot. He's in great shape. He's got experience. He's got some knowledge. He and Peter are really setting the tone and leading the way for us there. I can't wait to see Mayo just get in a stance. That's a big dude. I've walked down the hall and you see him, you're like, wow, I can't wait to see him, with his hand in the dirt. So we've got some good young talent and some guys that are going to have an opportunity, to all compete. Zaire's had his best summer. Ziggy, he's had his best summer. So the group has worked. They've accepted the challenge from Chris, and so we'll see. We got good competition, but we know where it's going to start, and we're trying to get our best people on the field. And the summer where Peyton Page is, Capehart, Trey. I'm excited to get Steph Island going. We got Big Burley. He's another guy that I think he's in green today. He's kind of working back. He's excited to finally get him out there and get him rolling too. And so Champ's rolling in here, Heaven's rolling in here. So we've got good bodies, and that's one of our main things. We got to figure out how to best use our bodies up front and on the back on the back end. We got a lot of bodies. We got a lot of athleticism. We got some length. We got some guys that have some diversity, position diversity. So, we got the same thing in the D-line.
Peyton Page was almost 400 pounds when he got here. He's down.
Maybe a little over. Yeah.
Transformation, just what you've seen from him.
I mean, it's incredible. That's what it's all about. I mean, it really is. I mean, he was in a really bad place. He and Tristan Lee, when they came in here, just bodies were bad place. And, to see the transformation that's happened in those two guys going into their fourth year, I mean, that's what it should. It should always be not where you start, but, they all come in at different spots. But how do you might make freshman All-American, but you might stink the rest of the way. It's your commitment and getting better and developing. And man, I'm really proud of those guys. And Peyton, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, he is a big, strong, unique player. He's a unique player. He can really move. He can collapse the pocket. He's athletic enough to really rush the passer. He's really become a leader. And that's something that I didn't see, 3+ years ago. And now he's really bought into leading other guys. And I mean, you don't do what he's done without changing your lifestyle. So I'm happy for him, and we expect big things from Peyton for sure.
Ever wondered what it's like to soar above trees, just minutes away from the city rush? I tried the Treetop Quest Greenville, and guys, it's an exhilarating blend of thrill and nature. With over 60 obstacles and zip lines fit for any skill level, the adventure leaves you buzzing with adrenaline. You can swing through courses multiple times in a 2.5-hour session. So why wait? Get your adventure spirit on and check them out today and feel the rush for yourself.
They say a home is a safe haven, but what about when that safety is threatened? Last year, a storm hit our area hard, and suddenly the roof over my head, my family's shelter, was compromised. I felt vulnerable. But then Canopy Roofing stepped in. Their dedication, much like that of a caring family, restored more than just our roof. They restored our sense of security. If you're ever in need, let Canopy protect your haven too. Experience the same peace of mind. See for yourself how Canopy Roofing can safeguard your family's comfort and safety. Ever find yourself needing custom gear that really stands out? At Carolina Printing Sports and Trophy in Hartsville, SC, we personalize everything from t-shirts to trophies, making sure your brand or team logo pops. Whether it's screen printing, embroidery, or dazzling plaques, we've got you covered. Swing by today and let's create something unique just for you.
How close is Vic Burley to being 100%?
He's pretty close. I mean, so you'll probably see us kind of ramp him up. He and Keith Adams, I think Keith is in the green too. We'll ramp those guys up. The first part of green means they're almost back into full go. So they're just progressing, and we just want to be smart with those guys and make sure we don't have a setback.
Coach, could you talk a little bit about the tight end room? Obviously spearheaded by Bernie Sewell, but some great young pieces behind him that I feel like are kind of slipping through the cracks over the course of the offseason.
Yeah, it's one of the deepest positions on our team. I would say receiver, tight end, D-line, DB. It's very, very deep positions with a lot of competition. Man, K. Rich has done I can't say enough about the job he's done. He's a great coach, he's a great teacher, but he has really, really recruited that room well, and he's put it together very intentionally. Obviously, it starts with Brenny. And now, if you asked about surprise, if you had asked me 2 years ago, who would surprise me 2 years later, I might have said Brenny, when he was hovering around 218 to 222. And, man, he was 243. That guy's put together. I'm really excited. Brenny leading the way. Proud of Sapp. Sapp's made some plays. He, as a redshirt freshman last year, he made some plays. He's got some confidence. He's just a baller. I mean, he's just got savvy for the position. He's unique. He's different from those guys, but he kind of does everything well. And, he's, again, not as big as you'd like, not as long as you'd like, but he plays like he's 6'5", 240. That's how he plays, and so we evaluate you by how you play. And he does that day in and day out at practice. And and again, a guy that's got just great instincts for the game, and a lot of that is just his background. If you really know his background, I mean, he played quarterback, he played safety, he played running back, he played receiver, he played tight end, he's played DN, he's played linebacker. This kid, he's a good basketball player, and so all of those things kind of have really made him into a very functional player. And then, man, Olsen, Pat Henry, and Marcus Dixon have had big-time summers. I really think Olsen has taken that next step. I want to see it, but that's kind of the word on the street, if you will. And then, really proud of Marcus. I mean, he's just really matured. His body is big. Those guys are big and strong. And then I tell you what, old Bentoncourt, he's probably one of the most pure athletes that we've signed. This kid is elite athlete. We'll see if he'll go be a great tight end for the Tigers, but he's got all the attributes. He's a big-time basketball player, but man, he can run, and it's always fun when you hear, these guys, chit-chat about the young guys coming in here and who catches their eye and things like that. And Bentoncourt's one of those guys that he'll catch your eye quick. Just watching him move, how he just moves. So that's a really, really good room, and man, we're excited about where it's at, who's coming, how we're recruiting at that position. Again, I give K. Rich a lot of credit. He's done an awesome job.
The other football, how proud are you as a godfather to see Tanner captaining the men's Olympic soccer team?
Yeah, I talked to PJ today. I was jogging, and he FaceTimed me, and he had the Eiffel Tower in the background, so I screenshot me talking to him with the Eiffel Tower in the back. I'm like, this is crazy. And but I'm really proud of Tanner, man. I'm happy for PJ and Kelly. I mean, it's been a long journey for them, and his just, this goes back to 8th grade. And when FC Dallas, kind of recruited him to come to Dallas and get in their system there. And, he obviously signed with us and was coming here. He was going to be Trevor Lawrence on the soccer team, and he was going to be my first switch kicker. Whatever hash we were on, that was the foot he was going to kick with. He can kick it 60 yards, left-footed and right-footed. I mean, could play wide out. I mean, he's that type of athlete. He's a special athlete. Obviously, got a great mental makeup as well to be able to do what he's done. Had a great rookie year for FC Dallas, and then boom, he gets bought by Venice, and he's living in Venice at 19 years old. And so he's had to grow up quick, but he's chased his dream. He's chased his dream, and he's put the work in. And to see Venezia get promoted this year, they won it and got promoted up to Serie A, and now he's, we'll see where he ends up. I mean, there's 3 or 4 teams I think that are trying to buy him, and so we'll see where all that goes. But he's focused on the Olympics and representing the country, and I think it's been an unbelievable experience, and pretty cool too. We hadn't even qualified since maybe 04, 08. When was the last time we were even in the Olympics in soccer? It's been a long time. Sometime in the early 2000s, and now they're in the quarterfinals in the knockout round. I think they play tomorrow. Man, I'm just happy for him, proud of him for how he's led and all those guys. And then Dawson Zimmerman, my first punter, his brother is Walker Zimmerman, who's on the team. So we got a lot. He played at Furman, Walker. So, in fact, PJ sent me a picture the other day. It was pretty cool because they had Tanner in the stands, and there's Dawson's daddy in the background with Walker, and that was pretty cool. And we got a couple of Clemson connections on that soccer team. So we're pulling for them, and hopefully they can keep it rolling.
It's not your first fall camp. Is there something specific that you look for, or is kind of a, good beacon of what the season is ahead that you kind of look for or rely on here in these early days of a fall camp to tell you where you are and what this season could look like?
I think number one is health of the team. I mean, that's always a pretty good indicator on where you are, health of the team. We've had some years where it's been better than others. But I just think the overall, just the vibe. I mean, every team has its own personality. Every team has different challenges. But the chemistry, the leadership, kind of how I see that kind of tells me where they are, and then it's my job to meet them where they are and help them become the team that they are capable of becoming. And so, some teams are further along in that area than others, but that's kind of some of the things early on. And then obviously, how the focus from the summer, how they've handled themselves in the summer, the numbers in the weight room, all of our things that we track there. There's a lot of things, but and then just seeing how guys are just around when they don't have to be around. You kind of just shows the type of commitment that these guys have. So all those things they all check the boxes. Now we got to get out on the field and we got to go put the work in, get better, and see if we can find a way to win some games on the field, because that's ultimately all that's going to matter.
I think we were talking to Phil Monca at ACC Media Days, and he was saying Cade was really at the forefront of a lot of meetings, extra meetings, telling receivers where he wants them to be on routes and being very vocal. How have you seen him kind of grow as a leader and kind of the head of the team?
Yeah, I mean, he's on course. I mean, he's on course, taking the next step of what he needs to do developmentally, and taking ownership as a leader is just part of it. I mean, especially at that position. I mean, you're kind of put in a position as a leader right out of the gate. First of all, just because you're a quarterback, right? But being a quarterback doesn't make you a leader. Being the head coach doesn't make you a leader. A title doesn't make you a leader. And so you've got to. I think those are things that are developed, and he's just taken that next step. It's been his confidence. I mean, his work ethic has always been great, but he's really matured in that area. That's been a big area, whether it be meetings, whether it be just vocalizing things, or it's just him organizing things with the guys to get together to throw or whatever. I mean, he's done what you want to see him do for a guy that's going into his second year as a full-time starter.
Maffa said him and Klubnik kind of gotten closer over the offseason. I'm just curious from your perspective, how have you seen their relationship kind of evolve from last season entering this season?
Yeah, Maffa actually talked about they did a little. I think they did a little, a church type retreat thing. I think they went down to Sea Island together or something like that, and did a little thing. And Maffa actually talked about that, how they really kind of grew closer together. But it's a close team. I mean, they've grinded together. They've put the work in, and there's been a couple unique things throughout the summer that you just kind of go, okay, that's pretty cool. That has come from within the team. And that's what you really want to see. You want to see your team take some ownership of some things. And I've seen that. But I think Cade's got a great relationship with all these guys. And he's a highly respected guy on the team because of how he works. Not because he's the quarterback, but because of how he works, how he handles himself. And he's a gym rat.
So,
Dabo,
go ahead.
Dabo, you talk about physically what you want to see in fall camp, but is there a certain mental approach you want to see every day here over the next couple weeks?
Yeah, just show up, finish the day, every day, just every single day. Bring great energy, bring a great attitude. Let's have great enthusiasm, and man, let's show up and be present, engaged in the moment that we're in, and finish the meeting, finish the practice, finish the period, finish the run, whatever it is. Let's finish each and every day and create that type of mindset.
So Boulware is in the directory now. Is he
Yeah, man, I finally got my first Boulware question. I thought I'd get that right out of the gate. Yeah, Ben's going to come be an intern, be an unpaid intern for us. I mean, he reached out to me a few weeks ago. He's been kind of, really praying on and thinking about trying to get into coaching, and just something that has been heavy on his heart. And I said, well, all right, the only way I'm even going to discuss it further with you is you're going to have to, we got a staff meeting next Monday. You got to come to that. And then we got 5 days of all-in meetings, and you got to come to that. And after that, if you still think you want to do it, then we can talk about an opportunity for you. And man, he's fired up, and this is what he really wants to do. And so, he'll have an opportunity to come in and work as a full-time intern, and we'll see how it goes. So super excited about how I love giving guys opportunity, when I can, with our former players especially. So Ben Boulware, it's fun to have him back. I told him he was a crappy fan. He's going to be a much better coach. So I'm excited about him coming and jumping in there. He's so fired up to be back on the grass, and it'd be a lot of fun to see him out there.
Walker Parks really had to kind of manage his injuries last year. Where is he physically coming into camp?
He's really good. So just keep him in your prayers, man. I'm praying for that guy. I really am. Pray for all these guys. I pray for this whole team, that we can have a good, healthy season, healthy camp, and Walker especially, man. This guy's there is nobody more committed to football, first of all, or to Clemson, or to this team than Walker Parks. I mean, he's just tremendous. He's one of the best leaders I've ever been around, and one of the most committed people I've ever been around. I mean, it's just amazing. And we need him. We need that fire. We need his presence. We need his leadership. We need his knowledge. We need his experience. He's got a ton of experience, but his last couple of years have been really hard. They've been really hard on him and all that he's been through, but he's had a great summer. And so, man, I truly do just pray for him and pray that he can be able to fulfill. This is a tough game, and there's only one way. You got to go play. So I'm just praying that he can, have the type of season that he's worked for, because he truly does deserve it.
What's it like to have all three of your sons back together in the building, and tell us about what the overseer kind of doing goals-wise?
Yes, first time ever that we've all been on the same team, and excited. Obviously, Drew was a GA last year for us, and so nothing's changed with him other than just we don't have GAs anymore. Like Brandon Thomas was a GA, and now he's not a GA. Nolan Turner was a GA, and now they're all player development, so they're all the same role. And working with the receivers, so excited about that. And then Will is just like Ben, coming in as an intern, unpaid, and be working with our tight ends and Coach Rich, and same thing. Just excited to be able to help those guys get started in their coaching career, and they're going to be awesome. They'll be great. And then Clay's redshirt sophomore, getting ready to roll. So unique opportunity, unique experience. Those guys, man, they live and breathe it. Clay just turned 21 on Monday, and I remember it like it was yesterday. He was born right here in July of '03, and he's 21 years old now, and just amazing. It's crazy. I was talking to Aries Curry a week or so ago. He was in my first receiver group, and he just couldn't believe it. I had that first picture with my group of receivers, and Clay's a little bitty baby, and now he's 21. These guys love Clemson, man. They live it and breathe it, and it's cool to be able to see them get off to a good start in their career and help them build the right type of foundation that'll really serve them for a long time.
Coach Reed was talking a lot about Jaden Lucas a couple weeks ago, just what you've seen from him getting his way back from injury.
Who was that again?
Jaden Lucas.
Jaden Lucas. Yeah, he looks great. What was he, 196, 8 pounds, something like that. And, he's another guy that's he's had a lot of challenges. You name it. I mean, from feet, legs, shoulders. He's had it all. Growings. He's had a little bit of everything, but he's had a really good summer. And, if he's out on the field, he's going to be a good player. This guy's big, long, can really, really run. I think he's more confident than he's ever been. Obviously, he's got some experience to draw on now. And, so it's a big year for him. And hopefully he'll be able to have a complete year. I'm excited about that corner room. Same thing I said about K. Rich. Man, Mike's done an awesome job putting that room together. We've got some really unique talent at that position, and some guys that can do some multiple things. So it's a very good group. Y'all they look the part. But J. Lou and Avion and Shelton, they're kind of they're the leaders, I guess, of the group. Even though, even though Jaden really's missed a lot of time, but he's been around here and he knows what it looks like. And Avion and Shelton are, they're coming off a lot of experience last year, kind of thrown in the fire, and now going in this year, they really know what they have to do to get themselves ready to go. So good group. We'll get Strozier back. He looks great. He's a different looking dude. Gibson, I can't wait to see Corey and Gibson out there on the field. Hadn't had a chance to see him yet. We got Ashton in here, he's a very unique player, very unique athlete. So we've got a nice mix of guys. Gonna be a ton of competition at that position and some depth. And again, with the type of season that you have ahead, hopefully playing deep into January, you better have some depth.
I guess on the offensive line, how much do you feel like there is a competition on all those spots other than just center, where you have to identify?
No, competition all across the board. I'd say Blake Miller has really solidified himself. I think he's a guy we don't really worry about. I think Tristan Lee is a guy that has really settled in and become, honestly, one of the best leaders on this team, one of the most committed guys. I mean, that guy has really, really done a great job. Marcus is a guy that can play multiple positions. That's the other thing I'd say. We've got about 5 guys that can really play multiple positions. That gives us some flexibility if a guy rolls an ankle that we can move to get your best people on the field. So we've got some flexibility, more so than we've had, especially at tackle. So I do like that going into camp. But obviously Walker, we all know what he can do, but we got to get him out there and he's got to go do it, right? So I hadn't seen him in a long time, and but we're cautiously optimistic. Sadler is as good a player as we have. So where does he? He can play guard, he can play tackle. So we got a lot of competition. Harris, Trent's had his best summer. Really, really proud of him and what he did in that weight room. So no, there's competition everywhere. You got 7 guys that have run out there and started for the Tigers and know what that feels like, and then an 8th guy right now that's penciled in there. They all want to run out there first. I think they all have a lot of respect for each other, and there's like good continuity and chemistry. And Matt's done a great job with them. They all know they're going to have an opportunity to play, but they're going to compete to see who. And then we got to figure out who's the best 5. That's part of it. Who's our best 5? What's the best combination? And so that's what camp's all about these next 20 days.
Where do you see the backup quarterback position coming into camp, and do you feel like, how long do you feel like it'd be, if you needed them, they would be ready to go?
Well, we were just talking about that as a team because we were just going through our practice expectations and practice guidelines and how you have to practice. And part of what we do every year is we talk about how we have to, what our quarterback rules are. You have to really teach these guys on, what do you do when a quarterback is a passer in the pocket? He's a scrambler outside the pocket, or he's a runner in the box. How do we do that? You have to teach these guys how to practice so a guy doesn't get hurt. But I was literally just, talking to the guys about, we've got 4 quarterbacks that can play for us. And, I'm super excited about that. It's been a while since we've had 4 guys that are ready to play, that can functionally go do everything we need them to do. They got different strengths and weaknesses and all that, but they can functionally put us in position to win. And Paul Tyson being our 4th guy, player coach, if you will, who could go out there and do it in his sleep. So we've got a good group, we got a good room. Again, so I have a lot of confidence in those guys. So we'll go practice. I think we know where we are with Cade, and CV is 2, Trent is 3, Paul is 4. As far as going out there, and we'll go through 20 days of camp and see how it all shakes out.
Time for just a couple more.
Scholarship-wise, I know you get asked this a lot, but still at 84 and without ruining any surprises, Pierman, will he be added to scholarship? Or?
Those are all things we talk about, in our meetings as we go through camp. I mean, we've got some starters on this team, like Florenzo is a starter who's not on scholarship, and he's a starter, has made some huge plays for us. None bigger than the fumble recovery against Notre Dame last year. So this kid is a proven player that you know, and then you got some other guys that you look at along the way. Chat Pendergrass. You got several guys that are in that mix. We've got about 4 or 5 guys that you'd put in that consideration, but you know, we'll have one spot, you know, between, unless something else happens, we got one guy, and we'll make that decision after the end of camp. But Trent's certainly a guy that we will definitely have to put him on scholarship, whether it's now or next year, because everybody's going to be on scholarship. So if you got 105.
So you had met Dave Canales a little bit out there earlier with the Panthers, but was that like that hasn't done here?
You saw that?
Oh no, the Panthers tweeted it.
Oh,
You and Dave
got tweeted. I was about to say, where were you, in like the building? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the first time I met him. Really sharp guy. Very impressed with him. It was fun to watch those guys bounce around a little bit. Got to see Clowney out there. Had a little fun with him. Finally got him to Clemson. I dog it. Finally got him here, practicing in the indoor. But they got a good looking football team. So I got a chance to see him. Did a little walkthrough. Maybe I might get maybe 30 minutes of it, maybe tonight. But excited for, you know, what they're trying to do and all that stuff. And then for Mike Reed as well. You know, he's a part of that initial team here, playing in the Valley 30 years ago. So pretty cool. So yeah, it was good to meet Coach Canales. I mean, again, very good background. It was fun to just talk through his track, his background, who he's been around. Obviously was with Coach Carroll for about 13 years out there at Seattle. I think Coach Carroll's son's actually on his staff now as well. So I think he's the passing game coordinator.
When analyzing the kicking battle, is there something you need to see in practice for you to feel confident in naming a starter?
Go through the pipes, baby. Just put them through the pipes. There ain't much subjectivity to that position, you know. So we're just looking for confidence and consistency. That's really the main thing. So I think we're gonna have good competition there at field goal for sure. I'm excited to see Jack. And hopefully we can have good competition at punter as well. I think we all know what we got in Aiden. I mean, here's a 6-year guy that's proven, he's confident, he's consistent. I'd like to see Jack take another step and be really ready. But we need confidence and consistency at field goal. That's the number one area we got to get better for us to have a chance to be the type of team we want to be.